How we doing? So we are on to our next variation, push-up variation in our series here. And we're going to talk today about the PLYO push-up, or the plyometric push-up. And you've probably seen there's like 101 different variations that you can do to achieve this push-up. We're just going to go over the one from the floor today and kind of go from there. So the difference between just a regular push-up and a plyometric, let's just backtrack a little bit. Plyometric just means like jump. So we're adding a jumping movement into our push-up. So we're going to set up the same way we would set up for a regular push-up. I want to have my joints in line, my shoulder, my elbow, and my wrist. Okay? I want to make sure that my hands are underneath my chest. As we had talked about in our previous video, we don't want to be too far back or too far forward. Okay? I call it screwing your hands into the floor or pulling my elbows into the sides. Okay? And we're going to descend to the floor, my chest to the floor. And as we push up, we really want to emphasize that protraction. So we're pushing the scapula away. And we want to try to do this as aggressively as possible. So I'm going to descend all the way down, keep my elbows close. My chest is going to touch the floor. And as I press up, I want to press through the heels of my hands. I want to keep my elbows pinned to my torso. And aggressively as I can, keeping my core tight. I definitely don't want to be lax. Because then otherwise I end up looking like a seal as I push up. Okay, so I'm starting from the bottom, I keep that core tight. As aggressively as possible, I'm going to press myself off the floor. And return. Okay? You want to make this as, continuous as possible. Typically, you'll do sets of, 2 to 100, just as a little rep scheme. One thing I wanted to mention on the way down, as we recoil, okay, you always want to make sure that it's just like a jump, like a shock absorber. I want to make sure that as I recoil, I'm bending my elbows. I don't want to just, as hard as I can, land and put all the shock into my wrists and my shoulders. I want to land nice and soft, just like I would with a box jump or broad jump or whatever. All right? I want to make sure that I'm bending my elbows and I'm recoiling back into that starting position. So I finish my rep and I land nice and quietly so I can continue on to the next one. Okay? One thing that we can do to help progress into this push-up is go from the knees. Okay? And when a lot of people hear from the knees, they actually think kneecaps. Okay? That you're on your kneecaps. When in reality, you want to be more on your quad. Right on that, specifically that VMO area, that little teardrop muscle in your leg. Okay? So the way we accomplish this is take our heels and we want to pull those heels up to the ceiling and keep that, again, keeping that core nice and tight, keeping that pelvis tilted so we have all this engagement. Everything else from the waist up kind of remains the same. My arm position, my shoulder position, and we can still work this plyometric push-up from here. So I want to keep everything tight, same idea. Chest touches the floor, and I press. And that's your plyometric push-up.